Hello students, we had started the unit EMI and AC, and the next topic that we are going to deal with today is mutual induction. Let us see. Let us take two coils. We connect a battery and a tapping key to one of the coils, and to the other coil let us connect just a galvanometer. When we press the tapping key in the coil 1, the current in the coil 1 will start rising. At that instant, when the current increases, at that instant, the magnetic flux linked with the coil 2 due to the current in the coil 1, it will change because the current is rising from 0 to I. I had told you that if we plot a graph between current and the time taken for the rise of the current, we have such a graph. It is a very small time in which the current rises from 0 to the maximum value, but still during this time the current changes from 0 to I. At this moment, a magnetic flux linked with coil 2 will change. When the magnetic flux will change, according to Faraday's laws of induction, induced EMF will be produced. Similarly, when we release the key, when the circuit is open, when the circuit is opened, hello students, in the last class we had started the unit EMI and AC, and we had discussed about Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, eddy currents, etc. The topic for today is mutual induction. Here let us take two coils. To coil 1, let us connect a battery and a tapping key. This is a tapping key. And another coil, to this coil, let us connect a galvanometer. You can see here in the coil 2, we do not have any source of EMF. When we start conducting this experiment, when we press the key, at that moment we see that there is deflection in the galvanometer. Let the current flow through coil 1 and then we release the key. That is, we make the circuit open. At that moment again we see deflection in the galvanometer but in the opposite direction. This experiment simply indicates that since there is no source of EMF here, the deflection in the galvanometer indicates that at the moment the key is pressed and at the moment the key is released, some current flows in the coil 2. Or rather we can say current is induced in coil 2 or EMF is induced in coil 2. We want to find the reason for the induction of current here. We see here that when the key is pressed in coil 1, at that time the current has to rise from 0 to I. The current rises from 0 to I. This is a very small time interval, but during this rise of current, the current changes. And when the current changes, the magnetic flux linked with coil 2, it changes. And whenever magnetic flux changes, at that time induced current is produced. Similarly, when the key is released, at that time the current was I, and now it has to fall to 0. It can't suddenly come to 0. It takes time to fall to 0. This is the graph for the fall of the current when we release the key K. That is when we make this circuit open. At that time, again there is change in the current from I to 0. And at that time, the magnetic flux linked with coil 2 again changes, and due to that change, by Faraday's law, the induced EMF is produced. This phenomenon, it is called as mutual induction. That is, whenever the current linked with one coil changes, induced EMF is produced in the neighboring coil. We can define it as the phenomenon of production of induced EMF in a coil when the current changes in the neighboring coil. At any time, the flux linked with coil 2, it will be proportional to the current flowing in the neighboring coil. We will always have this relation that the flux linked with coil 2 is proportional to the current in the coil 1. And since we can replace this proportionality sign by an equality, we get here phi is equal to mi. This constant of proportionality, this is called as coefficient of mutual induction, or it is also called as mutual inductance. It is either coefficient of mutual induction, just note this is coefficient of mutual induction. The name of phenomenon is mutual induction, or it is called as mutual inductance. And the SI unit of M, it is Henry. As we had discussed in self-inductance, similarly here also the coefficient of mutual induction has the SI unit as Henry. If we apply here Faraday's law, the induced EMF is E equals to minus d phi by dt. Applying here, we will get E is equal to minus m di by dt. This is what we get. From this formula, we can define mutual inductance. Let us take M. M would be, we can write a minus sign here, or simply we can take the magnitude of M and remove minus sign. Let us put here di by dt as 1 ampere per second. That is the rate of change of current we are taking as unity. And then M would be equal to E. From here we can define M. M would be, mutual inductance would be defined as the induced EMF produced in a coil when the current in the neighboring coil changes at a unit rate. In this way, M can be defined. Next, let us find mutual inductance of two coaxial solenoids. Let us take two solenoids over some coal, wind two solenoids say this is solenoid 1 and over this we wind another coil we have these two solenoids S1 and S2 and they are bound on the same core. Let us find mutual inductance of each of these coils one by one. Suppose at first instant, let us say current I1 flows in S1. We don't have, or at the same time we can have both the currents also and find the mutual inductance for both the coils. Let us say I1 is there in coil S1. Here, let L be the length of the coil. Let R1 be the radius of coil 1 and R2 you can see it is slightly bigger. R2 is the radius of the second solenoid S2. And let N1 and N2 be the number of turns in the coil 1 and the coil 2. And let us take A as the common area of cross section. Since you can see here that R1 is slightly lesser than R2, they have a common area of cross section, and later on we will see that mutual inductance of the two coils, it depends only on the common area of cross section. So let us consider only the common area of cross section which would be here pi R1 square. Let us find first the magnetic field due to S1. The magnetic field due to S1 would be, you remember from the last unit, the magnetic field of a solenoid is given by this relation mu naught N1 I1, where small n1 is the number of turns per unit length. And now the flux which would be associated with the second coil due to the current flowing in the first solenoid would be number of turns into B1 into A. Number of turns in the second coil. And writing this, we can write N1 as capital N1 divided by L. We get this relation. And going to the formula where we had found phi is equal to Mi, we had defined in this manner the flux is equal to M into I. We can find the flux of the second coil, the mutual inductance of the second coil with respect to 1 and the current I1. This is the flux formula for flux. Comparing these two relations, we can write M21 equals to N1, N2, mu naught here, A upon L. This is the mutual inductance of the second coil with respect to first coil. Similarly, let us find the mutual inductance of the first coil with respect to second coil. For that, we will have to consider the current I2 here. The magnetic field that is produced in the second coil would be mu naught N2 I2. And therefore, the flux linked with the first coil due to this magnetic field would be N1, the number of turns in the first coil, and the magnetic field due to which it is having magnetic flux, and the common area of cross section. Substituting here, we can get here I have written small n2 as capital N2 upon n. Collecting all the factors and comparing, we have phi 1 is equal to M1 to I2. This is the formula that we have for flux. It is equal to M into I. So the mutual inductance of the first coil with respect to second coil would be which is same as the mutual inductance of second coil with the first. So thing is that here the A is taken as the area of cross section. The mutual inductance will depend upon the common area of cross section. Now if we see what are the factors that are affecting, the factors on which mutual induction depends. Here we can see it is depending on the number of turns. So the first factor is the number of turns in the two solenoids or in the coils, we can say. So mutual inductance is directly proportional to the number of turns. The second factor it depends on is the common cross-sectional area. M is directly proportional to the common area of cross section. The third factor it depends upon is the relative separation. If the distance between the coils is increased, then the mutual inductance decreases. Nearer the coils, more is the mutual inductance. It also depends upon relative orientation. Orientation means what is the angle between the two coils. In this case, they are wound over each other. When they are wound over each other, here M will be maximum. In this case, M will be maximum. Say we have such an orientation. They are near each other, then M will be slightly lesser. And say we have such an arrangement in which we have taken the orientation as perpendicular. In this, M will become least. So M is not only depending on relative separation, it is also depending on the relative orientation. The best orientation is when they are wound over the same core. And the one more factor it depends, you can say here, see here mu naught. Mu naught is the absolute permeability of free space. And if this core is air core, then the mutual inductance is mu naught N1 N2 A upon L. But if we replace this air core by iron, an iron core, then the mutual inductance will increase. So it also depends upon the magnetic permeability of the core or the material of the core. If the air core is there, then mutual inductance is lesser, and if we have iron core, mutual inductance increases. That is all for today. I would ask you to find the mutual inductance. Here we have found the mutual inductance of two coaxial solenoids. I want you to find the mutual inductance of two circular coils, okay, coaxial circular coils, and there you will use two coils and the magnetic field, there you will use the magnetic field of a circular current carrying coil. The magnetic field associated with a circular current carrying coil is If you remember, B is equal to mu naught I upon 2R. So you will find that yourself and then you submit it to me. Thanks. Have a good day. Goodbye.